Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure unboxing, showcase, G1 comparison and indeed review, we're going to be looking at Newage's. This is what they call Hephaestus, hopefully I've said that right, and this is their take on a Devastator. Now, people who've been watching this channel for a long time will know that I've already reviewed the standard version of this particular figure. Now, in all honesty, Newage are worse than Hasbro, and I'll explain that in a second. But first and foremost, we are going to have a look at the box because it is beautiful. You can tell, of course, that it is Devastator. Now, they're not allowed to call him Devastator because Newage, you can see the little badge there, makes these figures and they all transform. So because they transform, they're not licensed by Hasbro or Takara, and they have to call them different names. So there is, again, that's actual product image. So that's what this guy's going to look like. And to be honest, as I say, I've actually reviewed one of these already on here. So this video is going to be slightly different because as I was saying, that Newage are worse than Hasbro and Takara, because what they'll do is they will make a mold, and you know, you've got to take your hat off to them. It's genius. It's no real difference to that. That, of course, she used to be Gears, and they, of course, just redecoed her and called her a different character. Whereas with Newage, what they tend to do is they will make one figure, and then they will just completely blitz the mold, like straight off, no messing around, no waiting. You will get the G1, you will get a G1 cartoon, you will get a G1 comic, you will then get the G2 colours. A lot of the time you will also then get a shattered glass, and then even in instances like this you will get battle damaged. So these molds are absolutely zero different to the others that I've reviewed on here. So for that reason, I'm not going to do the individual reviews. If you want to see them, just check out Newage Hephaestus reviews on here, as I say, because the figures are identical. The only thing that's different is the deco. The other thing as well, and I was dead honest about this in the first review, is that basically it's just a huge parts former. This is the main, let's be honest, look, this is the main body of Devastator, and all you're going to do is you're just going to attach all the parts to it. Again, guys, there is a full combining tutorial video on here as well, so I'm not going to duplicate material and go over the same things. As I say, what I'm going to do slightly different is exactly this, just very quickly show you the differences between the G1. The reason why I'm showing you the G1 and not the originals is because they were all the same color, and in all honesty, I've sold that one on already. So here is their take on a hook, and as you can see, these are smaller than the G1, and you can definitely tell now how dirty they are, and that's what they're going for. They're going for a battle damaged, war torn, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but it's just that. It's known as like a battle damaged deco, and again, there's full transformation tutorials for each one of these on here as well. Right, let's get Scavenger. Watch me get the names mixed up on some of these in a second. And you can see, again, they are, the interesting thing about these is, and you'll see in the individual reviews, that in the alternate modes, in most of the cases, they are much, much smaller than the G1 original. But then, ironically enough, when they're in robots, due to today's engineering and due to how clever, in all honesty, Newage are, they are super clever. Oh, you can see a head there. That must be the wrong way around. They do end up being, in most cases, in fact I think all of them off the top of my head, taller than what the G1 originals were. And of course the articulation, there's just no point even comparing it. It's on a completely different level. It's so, yeah, it's hugely different. Let's bring that over the top. That obviously was just tucked away neatly for how it was packaged. There, of course, is long haul, and you really get the sense here of how dirty these look. But of course they are brand new, so it's a real clever deco, to be honest. They've done a real good job of it. With regards to everything else that comes with it, you get a huge gun for Devastator, you get all the little bits there, everything. As I say, they pretty much do exactly that, in all honesty, guys. They just copy the Hasbro and Takara. With regards to the instructions, again, this is insane. That's why I did them all individually. This is your fold out instruction sheet for the individual bots, which again, it's not the greatest of reading, let's be honest. And then this is again why I did a combining video separate. This is how you would combine it, and as I said, there's already a video if you want to check that out on here. It's just a case of manipulating the bots, and as good as, you know, just sticking them on. That's why I didn't really like it. But again, I appreciate that in today's age, to get the figures to look exactly as we want them to, basically represent how they looked in the cartoon, they need to do things like what they've done. There, of course, is Mixmaster. Again, you could still spin. Can you spin the drum? Oh no, you can't. Of course you can't because of the transformation, but you could spin the drum on here. But again, the details are very, very nice. Let's move that out of the way. Last two. Let's go. All right, which one have I got? Scrapper and Bone Crusher. So that one is, that's Bone Crusher. So this one must be Scrapper. And I hope I've got that the right way around. But there you go. So last couple on here. As I say, these are their individual modes. They do all look good. And as I said, in fact, I'm trying to think off the top of my head just how many. I think the only version they haven't done yet is an orange one. So I might have to bring in my orange one just to do a comparison, just to be a bit different. But there are all of your, what am I doing? There are all of your, I nearly didn't know what I was doing then. Individual, as I say, little quick comparisons. The main detailed ones, as I've already mentioned on numerous occasions, are all done in their separate videos. That is them. That is how they come packaged. Right, we're going to come right back, and they are going to be in the full combined Devastator form. Okay, then here he is in his fully combined form. And as much as I said in the first part, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it is just attaching all of the vehicles to this main middle component. You cannot deny and you can't argue with the fact that it does look very, very good. And in fact, I'll be honest, I think I prefer this sort of battle damaged, you know, war-torn deco on him to the original. Now again, unfortunately, I have sold the other one that I did a review on. I've got a few other figures though, obviously, to give you an idea of his size and his scale. But first and foremost, let's show you, I suppose, first and foremost, yeah, let's show you the head sculpt, which is beautiful. And you can do this on it as well if you want. So we've got the visor there, which I really like, or you can just lift this up. You can tuck that out of the way, and then you've just got the normal eyes. I'm not a fan of that one at all, to be honest. I prefer it much better with the visor down. The head will turn, it will look up and down ever so slightly. It's got a slight bit of movement, but of course this is in the way, which of course it should be, because that is hook, and that's where he goes. With regards to the rest of the articulation, the arm, you need to just slightly move this, and once you do that, you can go all the way around, no problem whatsoever. You can go pretty much out to the T. Again, it's just being slightly restricted by the top of the shoulders, but again, if you move these, you can spin them all the way around, no issues whatsoever. You've of course got bicep swivel and bicep flexion. The wrists again will swivel. There's fully articulation, fold backwards and forwards. There's loads of articulation in the fingers. The waist will give you an ab crunch, which is incredibly clever, to be honest, for a figure this size, and the fact that we've built it all up. But again, it is just a separate piece. Swivel all the way around as well. Let's have a look at this. If we move the hip skirts, which you can see the hip skirts go pretty much all the way around. So you've got, he says, now does that is so stiff, and I proper thought I broke it then, I'm not gonna lie. This will come all the way forwards to there, and it will go all the way, wow, that is scarily stiff, all the way back as well, which you can see there. You then of course got your thigh cut or swivel. You've got your knee bend. That's the best bit there, where you see the hydraulics into the knees. That's the thing that impressed me the most on the first time I saw this, and it still does impress me. And watch how it moves the leg down and up as well. That is so clever. That, you know, that really does, as you can tell, still impress me. Ankle tilt, rock, etc., all going on with the back of this. That needs tabbing back in again. So as you'd expect, fully articulate. Yeah, and as I say, you know, you can't argue with the fact that it does look good. And as I've already said, I prefer this to the green, to be honest. There is of course the blaster. Again, I haven't got the batteries that fit in this, unfortunately, otherwise that would light up quite nicely. This will fit in. This is pretty much industry standards. What I mean by that is there's a big cutout in the palm of the hand. Let me just line this up. I can't see what I'm doing, that's not helping. Let's turn that around. There we go. Line that up, and then it doesn't matter if you grasp it with the fingers or not, because it should just stay into position. So there he is with his blaster. And just in case I didn't show you in the first part, there's all the individual guns as well for them. So this is the guy he's supposed to scale with. That is Newage's David. That is their take on an Optimus Prime. So that is apparently the correct scale. If you want to know how he scales compared to some modern figures, just to give you an idea, if you don't collect third party, that's him with Commander. That's him with a Voyager class, I think he was classed as. That's him with a Generation 1. I've got loads of primes, funnily enough. That's him with a mainline Transformers 1. What else have we got? Quite a few other things. I'll bring them all in a second, but that's going to give you an idea, I suppose, obviously, of the height of him with some mainline figures. Again, if you collect third party, let me bring you in a couple of third party figures. What have we got here? So I've got some Iron Factory, some of the Leo Kaiser bots. That's how they look compared to that. Let's see. Oh, let's just spin the arms around just again. So these are what's known as your legend scale sized figures. He's just slipped down. Let's sort that out, and let's see if I can find Soundwave as well. So here is your Magic Square Soundwave, and that's, I suppose, the big three that I know of who make legends. So you've got Iron Factory, you've got Magic Square, and you've got Newage, and they all look pretty good together, to be honest. If I just tilt that down, you can see that I suppose that is about the right height. I've got to keep it up though to keep his head in. But what I also think is that they scale pretty well with core class figures. Now, core class figures are obviously a different company again, but I think they do scale much better with them. And I think the main reason for that is, in my head, you know, Devastator should be huge, and I like the fact that he is huge. So I think with these figures that he looks pretty good at them, but there's not much more to say really apart from that. I think they are. I think he's good. I think he's great. Obviously, he is what I would class as a huge parts former, but like I've just said, you know, you can't argue with the fact of how good he does in fact look. So yeah, just again, quick reminder, all the individual reviews are on the channel already. They're just the different coloured ones. Last thing to bring in, and I said I was just going to bring in the orange Devastator, but I've also gone and found the green as well. So because I know if I just put the orange one up, people will say, well, I wanted to see the green. So here is the green. I can't fit the yellow one on for obvious reasons, and I didn't want to knock him over, but there you go. That's how much bigger he is than the G1 as well. So, and again, you can see the huge difference in the engineering, how much it's improved over the last 40 years. But there you go, guys. That is Newage's take on a very dirty and battle-worn Devastator. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.